Hello, my dear students. I would like to welcome you all for this 31st session of your syllabus. Dear students, in this session, we are going to have the continuation part of the lesson, The Model Millionaire, a short story written by Oscar Wilde. In our previous class, we had discussed a small introduction to this lesson, as well as we have come to know who are the which are the major characters, and also you have worked in groups to discuss the character of Huggy Erskine and his relationship with Laura Merton. We came to know who is the protagonist of this story and his love story and his relationship with Laura Merton. And once again, I would like to remind you, you don't have to worry about learning objectives. After listening to this PPT session, you will be able to know about the author Oscar Wilde, and also it will help you to answer the questions about the text and developing their ability to summarize the main idea of the story. These are all the learning objectives of this session. And session outcomes will be you will be able to comprehend the story and write your reviews based on your understanding. So these are all the sessions outcomes. In this particular video session, we will have some contents to be discussed in our further slides. And the first content is the progression of the story. So in last class, we have discussed little things about the story, and this session will have the progression of the story and character of Baron Hasburg. We came to know his Baron Hasburg. At the beginning of the story, he appears like a beggar, and we'll have more information about Baron Habsburg in our further slides. And Huggy's generosity and fortune. How generous! Huggy was a man. He had been to many kinds of business, but wherever he took up new business, a failure awaited for him. He was not successful in making money, but he was such a generous man. And let us see what his fortune will be, because we have already come to know that he is in love with Laura Merton, and he was given a condition by Laura Merton's father, Colonel Merton. Let's see what his fortune will be in our future further slides. The qualities and moralities. What qualities we can develop by listening to this story, and also what moralities we can adopt after listening to the complete story of this lesson. And also we'll study about session summary, and also you will have some multiple choice question as followed by the last session. And also you will find some references from which source I have borrowed informations from. Let's study from the beginning content, that is progression of the story, what will happen in the further part of the story. Let's see. Huggy Erskine goes to see his friend Alan Trevor. He finds that Alan is painting a portrait of an old man who appears to be bigger. So when the story started, we came to know about who is Huggy and his relationship with Laura Merton and the condition which was put by Laura Merton's father. These are all the informations we have discussed in the first part of the lesson. And here we came to know that he goes to Holland Park to see his friend Alan. Alan Trevor is the friend of Huggy, and he is one of the best friends, and he had such a good friendship with him. So he goes to see him, and when he goes into his studio, he sees a man who was giving pose like a beggar, and Alan was painting the same bigger picture, and both Alan and Huggy agree that the old man is an excellent subject for painting. He looks exactly like a beggar. He was wearing tattered clothes, and he looks very lean, and all the characteristics he had like a beggar. That is what Huggy and Alan discussed, that he is an excellent subject for a painting. Huggy thinks that it is unfair that although Alan earns 2000 guineas for his painting and he only pays his models one painting and he only pays his models 1 shilling and are to pose for him. Huggy came to know that Alan he earns 2000 guineas by painting a picture, but he gives only a shilling for the, for the persons who gives pose for his paintings, and he thought it is quite unfair giving only 1 shilling, but he earns 2000 guineas. Guineas is one of the currencies of foreign countries, and also they use shilling. That is what he thinks it is quite unfair giving only a shilling. When Alan leaves the room, Huggy gives the highest denomination coin to the beggar and he happily received it. When Huggy came into the studio of Alan Trevor, he sees the beggar who was giving a pose and he felt sympathy. He wanted to show sympathy towards the beggar man and he decided to give a coin. ಅವನ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಫಸ್ಟೇ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೀರೋ ಹತ್ರ, ಹಗಿ ಹತ್ರ. ಆದರೆ ಅವನ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಹಿ ಥಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ದ ಬೆಗರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಎಮ್ ಎ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್. ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿನ್ನ ಅವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಾಪ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, 1 hour ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೂ ವಾಸ್ ದಿ ರಿಯಲ್ ಬೆಗರ್. ಆ ಬೆಗರ್ ಯಾರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ನೋ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ದ ಬೆಗರ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು who was the beggar standing and giving pose to the picture of Alan. He was none other than Baron Hausberg, one of the richest man of Europe. So that person, usually we would see that rich people will be having different kinds of passions in their life. Baron Hausberg also had such a passion that he wanted to be a beggar and his picture to be painted. So that is what he came into Huggy's studio, sorry, Alan's studio, and he gave a pose to him. But Huggy was not knowing that who actually the beggar was. So he was the model millionaire. But he took that highest denomination coin from Huggy and he felt very happy inside. So till giving him the coin and till coming to know who was the actually beggar was, he was not aware of anything about Baron Hausberg. Okay. Alan and Huggy meet up again later after he left, after the beggar left the studio. They meet again in the studio itself. The artist tells his friend that after he left, the old man asked several questions about him. So in between, he went out. Huggy went out, and the old man asked several questions about him because he received a coin from Huggy, and he was curious to know about Huggy's personal life. So that is what he asked many questions about Huggy. So Alan told the man all about Huggy and Laura Merton. Alan is a friend of Huggy and he knew everything about everything everything about Huggy, about his love towards Laura Merton. He explained everything about to the beggar who was giving him a pose. But Huggy is unhappy that his friend told that the old beggar about his private life. He told everything about his love and everything about his personal life. That is what Huggy felt very happy, very unhappy, because for a beggar it is not necessary to explain everything about his private life. So he showed his greatest contempt towards telling all about his private life. But Alan was amused. Amused, Alan tells that the old man he was painting was Baron Herzberg, one of the wealthiest man in Europe. So he tells about Baron Herzberg. He tells that he is not the real beggar. He is the richest person in Europe. He's the wealthiest man in Europe. So, to his astonishment, Huggy he felt ashamed of himself because he gave him a coin, but it shows his great generosity. So Huggy feels ashamed about having given a coin to Millionaire, and the following day, a representative of Hausberg comes to Huggy's house with an envelope that contained check of £10,000. But for his great fortune, Huggy received an envelope cover that contained a check of £10,000. Why? Why Baron Hasburg sent £10,000 particularly? Because he came to know everything about Huggy's life and about the condition put by Laura Metton's father, Colonel Metton, by whom he came to know. He came to know all these things by his friend Alan Trevor. So that is what he wanted Huggy life to be settled, and he wanted Huggy to get married to Laura Metton because he was quite impressed because he gave him a highest denomination coin. So by this we can come to know that rich people, some rich people will have rich hearts. It's the character of Baron Hausberg. Let's see more information about Baron Hausberg. Baron Hausberg appears as an old beggar in the beginning of the story. We all came to know that Baron Hausberg, he appears like a beggar. I told you that he had a passion to have his picture like a beggar. That is what he went to Alan Trevor, and he gave a pose like a beggar. He was one of the wealthiest men in Europe and someone who often buys Alan paintings. So, how Alan knew him? Because Alan is an artist, he's a painter, and Baron Hausberg used to buy paintings from Alan. So, that is what he had the connection with Alan Trevor. The tattered clothes he was wearing were supplied by Alan. To give a pose like a beggar, he was wearing tattered clothes. So all the tattered clothes were given by Alan to Baron Hausberg. At the end of the story, Baron presents £10,000 to Huggy as wedding gift. So why did he give £10,000? Because there was a condition put by uh, Alan's lover, Laura, Laura Merton's father, Colonel Merton. Until he earns £10,000 in his life, he will not give his daughter to him. He will not let his daughter to get married to uh, Huggy. So that is what. So all these informations were given by whom? So all these informations were given by Alan Trevor, Alan Trevor to Baron Hausberg. As a wedding gift, he decided to give him £10,000. Huggy's generosity and fortune. How Huggy was generous. So he was not a rich man. He was failed in his all of his business, but he was in love with Laura Metton. And how his generosity works out. Huggy felt very sympathetic towards the old beggar and gave him a coin. So this was one of the greatest generosity we could see in Huggy's life. Even though he had no money, he had no sufficient money, he decided to give a beggar a coin. The kindness of Huggy repaid him with the kindness of Baron Hausberg in the way of £10,000 as wedding present. So this generosity made him a rich man. This generosity made him to get Laura Metton because Baron Hausberg, in the way of a repayment, he decided to give him £10,000 as a wedding gift. Such a huge gift he is going to get on the day of his wedding. The qualities and moralities. What qualities we are going to study here, and what are the moralities we can learn from by listening to the story. In the story, the model millionaire Oscar Wilde portrayed beautifully the theme of appearance, generosity, friendship, gratitude, love, compassion, charity, commitment, connection, struggle, and happiness. See, all these qualities we can find in this lesson. All these themes can be seen in this story. See, generosity, it can be seen in the life of Huggy, and friendship in between Huggy and Alan Trevor, gratitude, love between Huggy and Laura Metton, compassion, which was shown by uh, Baron Hasburg to Huggy, and the charity. So charity also was can be seen uh, in Huggy, because he gave a he decided to give a coin to the beggar. And commitment, how he was committed to Laura Metton's love and connection, struggle, because struggle can be seen in Huggy's life, because he had been to so many business, but he was utter failure. And happiness, at the end of the story we can see how the story ends with the greatest happiness. Let's study what are all the things we have discussed till now in the slide sessions summary. Huggy goes to see his artist friend Alan and sees an old beggar who was posing for his painting in the studio. So that beggar was none other than Baron Herzberg, one of the richest and the wealthiest person in Europe. He feels pity towards the old man and gives him a coin. So he wants to show a greatest generosity towards the old beggar. So he thought getting only a shilling for giving pose for an hour, it is very less. That is what he wanted to give, a shilling to the old man, a coin to the old man. He comes to know from his friend Alan that the old man who was giving pose to his painting was not really a beggar. So he was very much shocked to hear that the beggar who was giving the pose was not actually a beggar. He was a richest man. He was the richest man in Europe. So it was really shocking to our hero Huggy. Instead, he is one of the wealthiest men in Europe, and his name is Baron Herzberg. That beggar was none other than Baron Herzberg, is the wealthiest person in Europe. He was shocked that he had given him a coin. So Baron Herzberg took a coin from Huggy, but after coming to know who actually the beggar was, Huggy was quite shocked. He was wondered because he had given him a coin. To his astonishment, so he would be thinking that he may come to his home for the punishment, but for his greatest astonishment, for his greatest surprise, the next day a representative of Baron Hosberg comes to him and handed over him an envelope that contained of 10,000 pounds as his wedding present. So for his great fortune, for his great surprise, he received 10,000 pounds as his wedding present. Who are going to get married here? Laura Merton and Huggy Erskine. And also by this he is going to complete the desire, is going to complete the condition which was put by Laura Merton's father, Colonel Merton, that he earned 10,000 pounds. Baron had come to know all about Huggy from Alan Trevor. So he was quite impressed by the character of Huggy because he gave him a coin. Baron Herzberg was quite surprised, and also he wanted to know about his personal life. Alan Trevor told everything about Huggy, and he changes his complete fortune. So this is about the continuation story of this lesson. Dear students, let's have some multiple choice questions that you should answer yourself. And here is your first question. Whom did Huggy see at Alan's studio? ಯಾರನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ Huggy Alan ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ? An old beggar, an old lady, Lara Merton, a painting. What did he see? The right answer is option A. It is an old beggar. And here is your second question. What did Huggy give the old beggar? What does he give Huggy? Option A is his coat. Option B, a coin. Option C, food. Option D, a painting. He gives dash. Option B is the right answer. He gives him a highest denomination coin. And here goes your third question. Who is Baron Hausberg? A beggar. And option B is wealthiest man in Europe. Option C is an artist. Option D is retired colonel. Who is Baron Hausberg? The right option is a wealthiest man in Europe. So he is the model millionaire. And here it is your fourth question. How much money did Baron Hausberg present Huggy as wedding gift? Option A is $1,000. Option B £5,000. Option C £10,000. Option D $20,000. And your right answer is £10,000. He received his greatest fortune in the form of money, that is £10,000. And here is your last question. Who is Alan? Who is Alan Trevor? Alan is option A beggar, option B a waiter, option C an artist, and option D is retired colonel. The right option is option C, that is an artist. So thank you so much, my dear friends, and in the next slide you will have the references. I have taken informations from Innovation Board of Studies in English, Coimbatore University, Orient Black Swan 2018, and also I have taken a few informations from www.brainly.in for questions, and also www.bodnon.com. By this, we have completed the second session of this story. In next session, we will have the last part of the story, last session of this story. Until then, have a nice day and have a good time. Thank you so much for your patience, patient listening. Thank you.